All right, everybody. Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and start with Coach, just giving your quick thoughts on everything going on with practice today, and then we'll kind of get going in with questions.
For sure. Just a good, short, sharp day in preparation for New York. Understanding that energy and legs are going to be so crucial for our game and for this stretch. So I thought we were attentive to what we need to do in order to be successful against New York, and just stay short and sharp today.
Great, thanks, Coach. Go ahead and open it up for questions. If anybody has a question, go ahead and raise your hand using the reactions button, and we'll call on you. Percy, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
Awesome. Hey, Coach, I'm just wondering, after like game like Sunday, do you watch the tape with your coaching staff or your team, or is that a game that you just move past?
I definitely have to watch the game, and I know we watch it as a staff. I know my staff watches it, but definitely a game we got to move on from. That's an outlier, and we all know one of these games happen per season. We had one in the bubble. We played Washington, and they kind of blasted us. So you obviously learn from it, look at it, learn from it, grow from it, but nothing to dwell on, especially when a lot of it is the fatigue factor or, the effort factor. Those are things that we can control. So yeah, to answer your question, learn from it, watch it. Watch it. It was hard to watch, I'm gonna be honest, but just kind of move forward and get better.
Hey, and then just to like that right there, just the things that you may learn from that game, or just this sort of 3-game stretch in general, just the things that are happening over this 3-game stretch that wasn't happening before, or what?
Not hitting shots.
Yeah.
Defensively, I just think we're a step slow on our rotations. Rebounding has been key, huge. We're not, like, whether it's getting to rebounds or getting extra possessions with offensive boards. And then offensively, when I say hit shots, meaning our offense is getting a little bit stagnant. Teams are switching on Stewie and everything is clogged up. So just trying to find ways to get easier buckets. And that usually is with our defense, generating steals and all of those things. So just tightening up our defense, hitting our shots offensively, and then finishing our plays by rebounding the ball.
It was on Sunday that you said that you didn't really want the team to focus on what's ahead, playoffs, the standings, things of that nature. But are you getting the sense of urgency that you want, that these games are heightened? I mean, they are different than games in May.
Yes. I don't, aside from the last game against Chicago, I don't think our effort is not there, but there's some fatigue in there, and it's, manifested in that game. Emotional fatigue, mental fatigue, physical fatigue. And so I'm not questioning our effort. I think our effort is there, and I think their locker room knows the importance is they're trying, you know what I mean? But it's just, how can we find that reset button, or rejuvenation button, or that recharge button that we need to kind of push us, propel us within these last 4 games. But the urgency is there. I'm not questioning our effort. It's just our execution needs to be better.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, and let's go to I think Erica. Is that?
Yeah, it's me, just Erica, no Jessie, but I'm sure she says hi. Coach, going off of what Percy said, I wanted to ask you what the coaching staff, what the approach is. Because on the one hand, we know that these last handful of seasons have been different than anything you certainly experienced as a player. But on the other hand, fatigue, emotional or otherwise, is a part of playing professional basketball, especially as a women's basketball, elite level women's basketball player. So I'm just curious if there are any things that you are trying to incorporate to do a little bit different at this particular point of the season that you might not have done, earlier.
All hands on deck. I think, therapy, treatment, and all those things are super important. You know, sacrificing 45 minutes of a practice to maybe just go a little bit shorter but sharper, more same intensity level, and just kind of get through things in a way that we can save legs. You know what I mean? We are at the latter part of a season where it's not necessarily quantity, meaning 2 hours worth of just working, more so than quality within that work, whether we can learn from film, learn in a shorter amount of time. And I think that's most important, just kind of trying to find ways to help their bodies more. Their minds are there, their hearts are there, the spirit is there. I'm not questioning that. That's there. It's just like the physical of trying to just get over that hump is what's kind of the focus right now. And so just maybe taking a little bit more effort and focusing a little bit more on that aspect of our athletes right now.
For sure. Also, Coach, wanted to ask you a little bit about Jordan Canada. You have been able to see Jordan develop over time with your time with Seattle. And where do you see a player like Jordan, not just for a season like this, grinding out this season, but maybe in the future of this league?
Jordan has definitely blossomed in a way that is different from a lot of young players in our league. From her rookie year, she was a part of she was an important piece of a championship team. Her second year, she was starting, you know, and showed her prowess on defense and did some very good things on the floor. And then going through these last couple of years of going back and forth within those roles, I'm not sure another player in our league has had that experience. And good, bad, and different, I think she has shown that she can impact the game defensively. She's shown that she can get to the rim, get to the free throw line. Her jump shot is improving, her three-point shot is improving. And as she develops that within our league, I think that coupled with the experience kind of equals a very talented player, skill-wise, who can, you know, who can lead a team or be a defensive presence when need be.
Thank you, Coach.
No problem.
All right, we're done. Thanks, Coach. We'll have Jewell Loyd coming on here in just a moment.
All right, we're here with Jewell. And Percy, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with our first question?
Awesome. What's going on, Jewell Loyd?
How much are you?
I'm good. Hey, aside from the obvious, you know, like the score at the end of the game, what's been happening in these last 3 games that wasn't happening earlier in the season?
We're missing shots. I think honestly, every year we get blown out by 30. We get blown out by 30. Every team gets blown out. Just happened to be the timing of this one, but I think we're just not making shots. We're getting the shots that we want. I think defensively too, we're just not completely in sync at the moment, but it happens. And we're happy that we had some days of practice, and we'll get back to ourselves.
Hey, and then just to that right there, just the like timing of it, just with the things that you just said there. If this was happening in May, there probably wouldn't be this, oh, the sky is falling type of a deal. But it's September now, and so it has a different feel, or is it different? I don't know. Tell me.
I mean, we're in playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you want to make playoffs, and then it's a new season. So obviously, you want to be playing your best basketball towards that buildup, and I think, you know, we're not far from that. You know, we just hit a rough patch, and it happens to teams. But it's not about, you know, this. We know what we're capable of. You know, we've been in this situation a lot. So, you know, we're kind of used to this feeling. Maybe the fans aren't, and people outside of this circle isn't. But, you know, we know what get it going, and we're confident in that.
Are you getting the? Are you feeling the sense of urgency that you think is needed at this time of the year? Again, it just feels that as these games, they're just different from the games in May and in June, that these, you know, things get a little bit more heightened.
I mean, you want to be playing your best basketball towards the end, right? Because you want to go into playoffs feeling good and confident. Like I said, we faced a lot of stuff, and we've been in this position where we've got close to the wire and had to figure out how to ways to win. So, I mean, you know, I think that we understand what's on the line. We understand we don't feel like we're playing our best basketball right now. But like I said, these last couple of days of practice have been good for us to get back to the basics. And, you know, we're ready for next couple of games.
And just this last one from like me here. I know that your coach really don't want the team to take a look at the playoffs and sort of peek ahead, but is it hard not to, just to kind of see what's happening, you know, with these other games? Look, I was paying attention to the games last night, and, you know, look, I like that Chicago game and that Phoenix game, and just kind of wondering about, all right, you know, how does that affect the Storm, and, you know, this and that. So if I'm doing that, I gotta imagine that you guys are doing it, or are you?
I honestly haven't watched any basketball. I've been watching the U.S. Open. We play basketball all the time, so I don't like to go home and watch it. Yeah, I've been watching the U.S. Open. That's what I've been doing, and going back home.
Always a tennis player. All right, Jewell. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Percy. Now let's go to Erica. Erica, go ahead.
Thank you. Jewell, kind of going off of that last response you gave to Percy, like what are some of the ways that you keep yourself in the moment and are able to weather the highs and the lows that come with a WNBA season?
You know, it's I think it's different. It's for me. I think when I am around basketball too much, it kind of gets redundant. So I try to, when I go home, I try to find my peace, whether it's talking to my friends back home, hanging out with the team, playing cards, you know, watching tennis or whatever it is. But you know, it's our job is stressful, and we're around all the time. You know, it's in the season, everyone's talking, Twitter's going crazy, Instagram, all that stuff. So I try to disconnect as much as I can just to remind myself of why I play a game and what makes it fun for me. And all that other stuff is not fun. So I try to make sure that I'm always trying to find my balance.
And thinking about your role as a leader, in as much as you've been with the organization for a little bit here, you know, you've had a little bit of turnover and there's new faces on the team, excuse me. In what ways do you find yourself kind of guiding and helping some players that are newer to the Seattle Storm weather the storm of a season?
Yeah, you know, I think it's different. I think the new people are trying to figure out, you know, what's it like to be on this side of things where you always have a target on your backs. I think it's different. Whereas some of our veteran players now, we understand that when you're part of this organization or an organization that wins or has won, that people want to come and give their best shot. And for me, it's just making sure that everyone understands the value, and trying to just connect everyone and make sure that relationships is the first and foremost important thing here, because at the end of the day, that builds trust. And if you have trust off the court, we can definitely have trust on the court, and that's what you're going to need moving forward into playoffs.
And then final one for me, Jewell, I actually wanted to ask you a little bit about Jordan Canada. Coach Quinn mentioned that Jordan maybe has a unique path from other players in that her role has changed season to season, and she's been asked to be everything from a starter to more of a specialty player coming in off the bench. for you, I mean, just what do you make of the time that you've spent with Jordan Canada and some of the things that maybe we as media don't see that doesn't pop on the box score?
No, I mean, she's been a professional. That's the best way to sum it up. You know, she has come in and done her job, and she's been able to adapt to a lot of different changes and a lot of things throughout the season. And you know, Jordan's such a low key, chill person. You know, I wish she was a little bit more vocal at times, but you know, she's great. You know, and she's, like I said, she's been a professional for the years, and that's what makes her special, is that she's able to adapt to change and grow. And we've seen her, excuse me, grow mentally as well too, and adapt to that. It's not easy being a point guard in this league, and she's done a pretty good job of making sure she's ready to go every night.
Thank you so much, Jewell.
All right. Thanks, Jewell. We'll let you go. We'll see everybody tomorrow.